page. These numbers are real people. These are real lives that have been transformed and family trajectories that have been forever altered. The Mississippi kids who have outperformed previous generations in the classroom are going to make our state better as adults. We are talking about generational change in careers and horizons, and it is happening in every single corner of Mississippi. I attribute these educational gains to three important factors. First, the parents and guardians of our students. Without you investing in your children's educations, without you pushing them to be their very best, none of these gains would be possible. It all starts and ends with parents. Mississippi schools and teachers answer to parents. They are paid for by you. They work for you. It is shocking to me that in some corners of this country, the basic right of parents to determine their child's education is ignored. We must strive to be better than that. We recognize that no classroom can replace a parent's care. Your voice should not just be heard, it should be sought. It should reign. All public servants answer to the people. In education, we answer to the parents, and as long as I'm governor, we always will. We've also seen these historic gains because of the conservative and effective education reforms we've implemented over the last decade. Expect more, and you will get more. That is a lesson Mississippi has had to learn. The rigorous reading standards that we put in place have transformed lives, and the data proves it. Since those standards were created, we've experienced incredible gains in fourth grade reading. Just a few months ago, The Economist magazine noted Mississippi's fourth graders rose 20 places from 49th to 29th on the National Assessment of Educational Progress. And in 2019, we were the, quote, only state in the nation to improve its scores. Now, I want to repeat that. In 2019, Mississippi was the only state in the nation to improve our scores. The only state. Out of 50, we were the very best at improving reading scores. Students of all backgrounds are having academic success here in Mississippi. According to 2019 NAEP results, our students living in poverty are outperforming their peers nationally. Black, white, and Hispanic students from low-income households achieved higher scores than the national average in all 4 NAEP subjects. For decades, we were at the bottom, but now we are not. It takes time to go from last to first, but Mississippi kids are on the move, and it is revitalizing our state's future. Now, they say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Well, all of you in the legislature should be flattered. Because again, according to The Economist, and this is a direct quote, many states have noticed Mississippi's success and have passed similar legislation. When is the last time you heard that? From Pascagoula to Iuka, from Natchez to Tunica, every single person in Mississippi should be proud. These education reforms and the gains they have wrought is what happens when Republicans and Democrats come together. When we set aside our differences and focus on what matters most, there is no limit to what Mississippians can achieve. That is why I am asking the legislature to keep it up and to invest this year in math coaches, just as we did for reading, to ensure we continue to see improved educational results. The final vital factor in our education gains is our teachers. Unlike other states throughout this pandemic, most of Mississippi's teachers stepped up. They did not cower in fear and refuse to come into the classroom. In fact, it was just the opposite. While other states resorted to Zoom for years on end, Mississippi's teachers took to the chalkboard. When teachers in other states said, "No, we won't," Mississippi's teachers said, "Yes, we will." They did not walk out, they stepped up. Now I want you to join me and stand up for them. I would like for everyone to take just a moment and give our teachers the applause they deserve. Thank you. You know, it was a great Mississippian, Mr. B.B. King, who once said, "The beautiful thing about learning is that no one can ever take it away from you." Those who push long-term school closures would have taken that opportunity away from our children. In other states, students remained out of the classroom and locked away from their teachers and their peers. But we chose not to let that happen. Teachers in Mississippi did not and will not back down amid this unprecedented educational battle between a virus and a child's right to learn. That is why we must give our teachers the pay raise they deserve. Now, y'all know that I'm a conservative. Many of you here tonight are too. As conservatives, we believe in rewarding hard work and success. And there is no doubt that Mississippi teachers fit that mold. I'm confident that in this session, working together, we will get a significant teacher pay raise done. It is my #1 priority. Credit goes to where credit is due. In this COVID-19 pandemic, Mississippi teachers deserve the credit. Now there's one cloud on the horizon for our schools, and it's one that we need to address. Across the country, there is a looming threat in too many schools. It is propaganda that seeks to divide us. It's what's called critical race theory. It doesn't really matter what you call it, and I'm not really interested in semantics. I'm interested in the integrity of our civic education. In too many schools in other states, they want to teach the lie that America is inherently racist. They teach students that by virtue of the color of your skin, you are inherently a victim or an oppressor. They teach this for a purpose. It is designed to allow a small group of ideologues to pose as saviors, false heroes. It is arrogance and ambition masquerading as education. When you are a victim by birth, only their generosity can save you. When you are an oppressor by birth, only your silent cooperation with their radical worldview can sanctify you. There is no country on this earth without sin in its past. That is because there is no person on this earth without sin. Sin is inherent in the human condition. Injustice is still too present today. We must teach that truth. We must learn from our history. But we can also proudly teach that America is the first nation in history to be born of ideals, not just blood and soil. We are not a nation created by a tribe, but a melting pot of people committed to common purpose. We work to live up to those ideals every single day. And yes, sometimes we fall short. But then we get up. We keep stretching towards that promise, enshrined in our founding documents, that all Americans are created equal with rights bestowed by their Creator. With the radical founding of America, We set the world on a course towards greater prosperity and freedom. Racism is not unique to America. Injustice is not unique to America. It is endemic in humanity because humanity is sinful. But the American notion that God grants rights that no one can take away, that notion is still transforming this planet. When we teach American children to fear one another because of their skin, we reverse the great trend towards achieving our American dream. The promise of America is replaced with a vicious lie that you are doomed to failure or evil based on your race. We must stop this trend in its tracks, and we can do our part here in Mississippi. Today, I am calling on the State Board of Education to adopt the values that combat critical race theory in their educational efforts, to affirm that Mississippi's public educators will not indoctrinate students in ideology that insists this country or this state are inherently racist. We will not teach that your race determines your status as a victim or an oppressor. No school district shall teach that one race is inherently superior or that an individual is unconsciously or inherently racist because of how they are born. No child will be divided or humiliated because of their race. We will strive for equality, and our education will support that aspiration. This is an important common step we can take to ensure that Mississippi is committed to equality, honesty about our past, and bold and optimistic determination about our future. The legislature can bolster that effort by passing legislation to this effect. We will teach all of our history, good and bad, and that will lead to a brighter future. I know that our teachers can and will lead the way, and I ask the legislature to set down that path. These investments that I talk about in our schools are not a pipe dream. We can afford them.